Hey everyone, it's Hannah and welcome back to the Corner of Craft podcast. The podcast that used to be known as the Crafty Chat podcast. Then I decided to name it something that wasn't such a lame pun, which is quite amusing in itself because I love a lame pun. Like, lame puns are my sense of humour. Hi, welcome. You may notice something different. Oh, I just kicked the tripod. I'm gonna have to watch that. You may notice something different. I'm on a spinny chair. I don't know if you can see the chair. This is a blanket on the back of a chair. I'm on a chair. Reason being, I've rearranged my craft room a little bit. I've stood up. This was here anyway. No, this one was here anyway. But I stood it up. This one was over there and I brought it over. Got them next to each other. Realised I need to knit much quicker. This is personal stash. This is shop stash. I need more storage for the rest of the stuff that's still on the floor that doesn't have a home. So I think I'm going to be having a trip to IKEA at some point. But yes. My name is Hannah, as I've already said. I'm coming at you today from a bright but cloudy Nottingham in the UK. Yes. I hope you're all well. If it's your first time tuning in, welcome. I'm not usually this erratic, but I have been recently. I think that more tells me that I need to make podcast notes written out so I don't forget things rather than winging it, which is what I have been favouring doing of late. I think I just like to challenge my brain and wing it, which is just not a good thing to do, really, is it? I should be more structured, should have a point. If you're coming back, welcome back. I'm glad that I'm either entertaining enough or enough of a car crash to warrant you returning once again. Not really sure what this piece of hair is doing, but we're just going to ignore that. Anything else? If you'd like to follow me on social media, please feel free to No, you will find them all on the screen, but also feel free to click the link in the description box below this video. That will take you directly to my social media. I've got them all down there, even the ones that I don't use, like Twitter. I haven't used Twitter in a long time, and I don't know why. I feel like Twitter's a good one to be using. I just haven't. We also have a Ravelry group. By we, I mean me. It is just me in the Corner of Craft. Although I like to think that you're with me whenever I podcast. So I guess it is a we. It is the Corner of Craft podcast. Link to that can also be found in the description box below. I have been abysmal at podcast notes recently, but I might try and do them today. I'm not going to do back ones because sod that. I might try and do them today. And I've just wrapped up a knit along. It was the 50k sweater cal. I have drawn winners from both the chatter thread and also the finished object thread. So if you entered, please once again check the description box below. I've popped your names down there because I don't want to butcher anyone's name. Don't want to butcher the pronunciation. I thought this would be the easiest way of doing it. Check the description box. You have 2 weeks from today. Today is the 30th of not September, August, 30th of August. So you have until the 13th of September to get back to me, and if you don't get back to me by the next podcast, I will draw new winners. So send me a message either by email or on Ravelry or Instagram. I check all three, with your address, and yay, I will get those prizes shipped out to you. That was a really fun cal that we did. I knit a hoodie shawl cardigan minus the hood. There have been some beautiful knits. There are some new jumpers that I want to knit, which is nice. And thank you to everyone for helping me celebrate reaching 50,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. It's a huge number, slightly overwhelming, but pretty incredible. Not bad. The tea I'm drinking today and chugging down, because it's perfect drinking temperature right now, is Bird and Blend, which used to be known as the Bluebird Tea Company. This is their tea, Monkey Chops, which is a banana flavoured tea. It's like banana and coconut. I put a bit of milk in it. I even put a sweetener in it today. I don't know why. Just major sweet cravings happening at the moment. I think it's because I'm on a lose weight kick. But yes, put sweetener in. It tastes like foam bananas and it's delightful. I'm a little bit sad that I'm running out. I might have to go back and buy another 50 grams because I got through that packet so quickly. It's just such a nice tea. And I've got it in my little koala mug that my mum bought me. Oh, she knows me so well. She knows I love koalas. Koalas are one of my fave animals, and they were growing up as well. Yeah, it's a little face, and then it's got a butterfly in the back. But yes, sincerest apologies for lack of podcast last week. Kind of worked myself into the ground a little bit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but loved it, 100% loved it. Except for I somehow got a sore hip from sitting too much. So now I know that that's a thing that can happen and that I can get. I don't know if that's an everyone thing, but it's definitely a me thing, so that's really fun. So whenever I sit on this chair now, I'm gonna have to put a cushion under it if I'm gonna sit on it for an elongated period of time, or get a new chair. Yes, and I hadn't hung out with Mario that much, so I decided instead of doing a podcast on Thursday, I would meet up with him when he finished work and we would get a coffee. By coffee I mean tea. I haven't had a coffee in over a month. 2 months, almost 2 months I haven't had a coffee. Since I left my previous day job, I haven't had a coffee. All about that tea life. I didn't drink coffee before I started working there, so I'm not gonna miss it now. Oh, this is nice. I've got my desk just here. It's a nice little table. I should have put my stuff on it really. I'm gonna confuse you. Oh, the shawl I'm wearing, let's start with that. I am wearing my Half Moon Oracle shawl by Kristen Lehrer, aka Vullenvine, aka hostess of the Yarngasm podcast. I loved this. The green colour is Hedgehog Fibres in Goosebumps. It's their sock base, which is 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon. And then this purple colour, which is also down here, is Potions Yarns in her Panties in a Twist colourway, which is on her, I want to say Dryad base, which is 80-10-10 superwash merino cashmere nylon. Snazzy and soft. And then this dark grey is Truly Hooked in charcoal on her, it's just her standard sock base, which is 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. Because I don't mind about mixing blends and bases, because that's who I am. Speaking of leaving the coffee shop, I would just want to say how long my nails have grown. Look at that. Impressive. It's amazing what happens when you can wear nail varnish again. I mean, they're weak as balls. Imagining balls to be quite weak. They're incredibly weak nails, but they're long. And I'm keeping them filed and trying to keep them nice and trying to let the weak part of the nail grow out so they can be nice and strong underneath when the weak parts grow out. Trying really hard not to pick off my nail varnish, which is a nervous habit that I have. Instead of biting my nails, I pick my nail varnish off. It's not a good thing to do. My nails hate it, but hey ho, what are you gonna do? I feel like maybe I shouldn't be sat on a cushion. I'm quite tall. Anyway, I don't have any finished objects, and I might confuse you about the things that I'm working on, because the things that I was working on, grammar. Some of them could have been finished by now. Both of them probably could have been finished by now. They've both been put on hold, but one has been put on waste yarn on hold. That's extreme. I needed the cable. I'll explain about that. So my first whip, which I haven't done much with, but I knit it a little bit and I think I'm almost ready for the toe. I'll try and at least have a hoe by the next podcast. Are my just vanilla socks. This yarn is Calypso by Babbles Yarns on her Bamboozle base, which is a blend of, I can't remember what blend, superwash merino, nylon and bamboo. and it's so soft, and it's the one that I was drunken knitting and I dropped a stitch, and Mum just said, well, aren't you just gonna like work it back up? Like, no, I'm just gonna sew it in. But I think I'm ready for a toe. I think I might be past ready for a toe. Looks about toe ready. I haven't worked on this too much because I've just been knitting it on the bus on the rare occasions I've gone into town, and I can't really try it on the bus because I might get looked at weirdly for putting on a half-made sock. I've got one of my little stitch markers hanging out on the side. It's one of my pandas, so that's incredibly cute. It's one of the ones that I had to keep. And yes, I'm just doing a plain vanilla sock. I'm using 2.25mm higher sharp, so it's 64 stitches on this one. 2x2 rib. I do a German twisted cast on 2x2 rib for about 15 rounds. I do the New Depths heel, which is a pattern by Becky Sorensen, who is one of my besties and also known as Soprano Knits. I didn't increase as much as I have done on past socks, but I think I might have to go back to increasing a little bit more. I wore a pair of socks the other day that I'd finished a while ago, and I hadn't done as many increases on the heel as I had done on other socks, and they don't fit my foot quite as well. So I think I'm just going to have to admit the fact that I need to increase a bit more. But I'll obviously knit the other socks to match this one, because otherwise that's a bit weird. But I said before that this sock reminds me a little bit of cabbages. And oh, all the different colours of cabbages. I don't know why, it's just where my brain goes. Looks a bit like cabbages or succulents. But yes. Oh, matches my shawl quite nicely. Clearly have a thing about these colours. This was my souvenir yarn from Woolen when I went in May. Yeah, it was May. And Woolen was the first yarn festival in Dublin. So I went to that, and that is living in my Edinburgh Yarn Festival bag that I bought in 2017, and it's crumpled AF. I also have cast on another pair of socks. Of course I have. I was going to a barbecue with Mario and... fluff in my mouth. I was going to a barbecue with Mario and I didn't really know anyone there, so I thought I'll cast on something to take with me because those socks are at an awkward point and I needed to try them on. I thought I'm not going to sit and try on a sock around a bunch of people I've never met before. So I cast on a pair of socks for Mario, and then I favoured these socks in the car journey down from my parents this weekend, and so got quite a lot of it knit. I'm probably about the same point as I am on those other socks. So this yarn is actually my own hand-dyed yarn. It's one of my first skeins that I dyed. I actually used this as my contrast for my Christmas socks, if you remember. Slightly concerned I'm going to run out, but I hopefully won't. Who knows? Who knows? These are knit on 2.5mm higher sharps. I have done 2x2 rib at the top for I think 15 rows, maybe 16, who knows. And then for the rest of it, I'm doing a 3x1 rib. Because the last two pairs of socks that I've knit for Mario have been far too big. I think my gauge has loosened up slightly, or I'm not sure. Because the first few pairs I knit him were incredibly tight, and I was an incredibly tight knitter. But I have loosened up somewhat. So I'm doing a 3x1. You can have a bit of a closer look, I'll be nice. I decided to do a heel flap and gusset, but I decided to do an Eye of Partridge heel, and it doesn't look as nice as other people's Eye of Partridge heels I've seen, but at the same time, it's a heel, whatever. First few rows look good, and then the next few rows do not. But heel flap and gusset fit him the best, because I don't knit for him often enough to be able to experiment with loads of different types of heel. Not to be a rude asshole, but that is just what I am. But yes, he complained that he hadn't had a pair of socks from me in a while, so I thought I would treat him to some, and I've got quite a lot of it knit, so I just need to keep going. The stitch marker I have on here to indicate which side is the beginning of the round, because I'm knitting these magic loop, is a stitch marker that I got from Yanis Tree, who is going to be featuring again later. You can't see. It's a little stegosaurus. I think that's a stegosaurus. And I got this once again at Woolen. I should put this on my other one and have a Woolen project. when she first did her Lucky Dip beaver thing where you could have won a golden beaver, and it was so fun. I won a bunch of Storuses. I didn't win a golden beaver, so that is quite sad. That little fella, sock, and I guess the stitch marker, is living in my Van Gogh TARDIS bag that Bernadette of the Coffee and Craft podcast made for me. Thanks, Bernadette. I use this bag the most out of all the ones that I own, especially for socks, because I don't know if it's got interfacing in it. I don't do fabric. Of course I do fabric. I don't do sewing, but I don't think it is. But it's quite soft, so it fits in a lot of my bags, which is good because I take these to the pub. I take these when I'm going on a night out. Take socks on a night out, because why not? Well, because when you're knitting before you go out, you need. Or when you're drinking before you're out, you need to have some knitting, which is when dropped stitches end up happening. But this squishes down in my little bag quite well, and it's quite unassuming, and it's the TARDIS. So I really like soft bags for socks. Only floor, no handle, but it's not the end of the world because I have it sat on my lap often. Yes. So the third project that's taken over my life that I've been knitting on monogamously, and I don't mean taking over my life in a negative way, in fact I mean quite the opposite of a negative way. I've been loving this knit. I agreed to test, she didn't ask me, I offered to test knit for Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn, and she has designed her very first sweater. It is due to be, the pattern is due to be released on September the 20th, so I've still got some time. But I want this finished by my birthday, and judging by how quickly I'm knitting it, that's going to happen. My birthday is mid-September, for those who don't know. I don't know why you would know. I suppose if you've been around for a while. I have many ends to weave in. So many ends to weave in. As Shanna and Jamie say on the Lamb Strings and More podcast, Strings and More podcast, sneezed out a sweater. I'm on an arm. I've knit quite a lot of this, in case you can't tell. This is my very first cabled sweater, and my first DK weight sweater I've ever knit, and I'm actually really enjoying it. Sorry, I'm hoping it blocks to be a bit longer, because I forgot that Tristan's quite short, and I am not that short. I'm not super tall, but I think she's 5'1", so that's quite short. So's Tristan. I mean, love you so much, but you know, your torso is shorter than mine, let's face it. Because this comes to basically where I bend to sit, which isn't a problem. I mean, it's not a bad length, but luckily it's garter stitch. I haven't blocked it yet. A lot of people have been clever and have blocked it before doing anything else. I am not clever. Can't bother to wait for it to dry, I'll be honest. But it's garter stitch, so it will block out because my swatch blocked out quite nicely. My swatch here? No, it's not. I'm on the sleeve. I'm cabling down the sleeve. As I said on Instagram the other day, I have gorilla arms, so I think I'm going to be knitting the sleeve for eternity. It's meant to be an oversized boxy jumper. I think maybe I should have offered to knit a size up, but I don't usually like jumpers too baggy, because I have a lot of baggy jumpers that my mum's knit me, which I really appreciate because they're fantastic for when I want to wear them, but I don't just want a wardrobe full of massive jumpers. So this one is a little bit more shaped, but once again, this is it unblocked. But yes, this is the Find Your Way sweater. Like I say, if this is the test knit, the pattern is not on sale yet. But this is why I've abandoned my other knits, because I realised that I was on quite a tight deadline with it and I needed to get it done. Plus, we have like a secret Facebook group of test knitters. Hi everyone. I'm really competitive and I wanted to win. I'm not going to win. There is someone ahead of me. and I can't catch up. Because I wanted to finish the sleeve yesterday, so I could be like, look, I have a sleeve done. But no, I've still got a couple more decreases to do, and then I need to knit straight for a while, because gorilla arms is so long. Long torso, long arms, long legs. Just quite long. I'm not that tall, I'm only 5 foot, I think 7.5. I'm around 5'7". Mario says he's 5'8", and I'm about the same height as him, so who knows. But yeah, so it's, you know, kind of like a dropped shoulder jobby, kind of boxy. It's got this fantastic antler cable. Oh, that's the money shot right there. Wait, that's a rude expression, isn't it? I'm gonna stop clanging my needles on the tripod, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's got the cable down the front, and then you've got these at the sides, these little twiddly cables. And through this, I've learned how to cable without a cable needle, which has made my life significantly easier. I have also learned how much I love knitting cables. I didn't know I loved knitting cables before, but I love knitting cables. I'm using my own hand-dyed yarn. This is my Sturdy DK base, which is 100% superwash Blueface Leicester. This is in the colour Merrow, of which there is some in the shop because it's on my shelf, which is a beautiful colour, if I do say so myself. I have so many ends to weave in. Oh, it's such a good time. But it's like a darkish, denimish, bluish grey with pops of teal, and then some lighter patches as well. It's just quite nice. Just quite like it. Quite excited to wear this. The goal is to have this finished by the 1st so I can cast another one on. Not another, find my way, another sweater, so I can use up some of this. Because the problem is, when you knit using your own dyed yarn, the rest of your yarn gets abandoned. So, but I didn't have a sweater quantity of DK weight yarn in my stash, so I just had to dye some. It would have been foolish to not. But yeah, I'm excited to finish it and block it, sew all the ends in, wear it in one of those orders. These armholes look very small, but I know that they're not because I've tried it on. Posted a picture of me wearing it without sleeves on Instagram, and that picture seems to be doing quite well. People seem to like it without the sleeves, and I must admit it looks cute without the sleeves, but it looks even cuter with the sleeves. Yeah, learning new techniques, learning that I'm actually quite good at test knitting because I'm quite good at explaining things, or I'm quite patient in that I will explain things like 5 different ways in order for people to understand what I mean. I find my way. It's got a split hem at the bottom, which is nice. It's my first bottom up sweater I've ever knit because it's knit from the bottom up. I was really scared. I thought it would be really difficult. It is not. And that has been living in my Spool Stories bag, which was this one. She sent some for a giveaway. It's got this shiny rose gold fabric on the bottom. Oh, this is what it looks like in this game. You see the turquoisey colour? I don't have enough blue jumpers in my life, obviously. Which is hilarious because my mum knits me a lot of blue jumpers. But yes. I've basically finished a jumper but haven't quite finished it. But hopefully I'll be wearing this on my next podcast. Woo! My next podcast will be my last podcast as a 27-year-old. This isn't my last podcast as a 27-year-old. No, the next one will be. Because it will almost be my birthday. Right. When it comes to like acquisitions and stuff, I don't actually have a whole lot. I don't have a lot there at all. I have a few bits. I'm gonna have to reach down because it's on the floor. 1 second. I return. So I said I was going to be mentioning Yanis Tree again, and I treated myself to some goodies in Yanis Tree's shop. Emma, her name is, I believe. We haven't had a conversation before. She wasn't on her stall when I went to her booth at Woolen, which is sad, but that's okay because I've been following her for a long time. Cool, so the first things that I bought, she does fantastic things with acrylic and wood and laser cutting and that kind of thing. So I bought these, I don't know if you can see them. Kind of. There we go. They're fantastic iridescent unicorns stitch markers, which I might transfer them onto something else instead of these bulb pins, but I don't know yet. Purely because they don't, or I might put them on, might put a jump ring through them before I put them on the bulb pin, and then put them back on the bulb pin, because they don't sit perfectly in the safety pin side, and so when the bulb pin rotates you get like a random sticky out bit. It's just me being an ass, and I know it is, but I might transfer them. But they were so cute and I couldn't not, because I was already going to buy this from her, which is still in the bag, because as soon as I received it I went away for a few days. There is a backstory to this. I'm not going to go into the backstory because that's not my story to tell, but I just thought it was quite funny. Yeah, I'm technically a millennial, so just thought it was quite funny. Put it on a project bag, might wear it walking around various yarn festivals, who knows. So yes, I treated myself from Yanis Tree on Etsy. Oh my goodness, I just threw them on the floor. And then I was walking around, I can't speak Norwegian, sorry. Søstrene Grønne. Sisters Green. I was walking around and I stumbled upon their buttons. So they're 100% eucalyptus buttons. They were dirt cheap. These were €1.38, no, £1.38. I don't know why I went euros. And these were £1.26 in euros, so £1.39 for anyone who wonders. And you get 15 buttons, and these are mint with black dots on them. So I figured I need to make myself a black cardigan and have these on it. And I also bought these because I couldn't resist them. And I have a few babies to knit for. And I mean, the buttons are not perfectly lined up where the holes are, and if that bothers you, then that's going to bother you. But it doesn't bother me because they were cheap. But they've got little horses on, and these ones, you get 20 buttons. Look how cute they are. So cute. So a few people I know have either had baby girls or expecting baby girls. So I thought, and then when they get a bit older and I knit them a little cardigan, they can have these cute little buttons on. They are also boy appropriate because, you know, gender and animals is a weird thing. I get that. But I don't know many people that have had boys. So that is why I just said that. The final thing that I have acquired isn't anything I can make, but it was something that was made for me, which is pretty cool. I think it was meant to technically be a birthday present, but it wasn't wrapped up in wrapping paper. It's just put in a bag. So I might put it back in the bag and then put it back in my present bag because it's too warm to wear it anyway. But my mum knits, as I've mentioned before. She is the person that taught me to knit. She has knit a lot of things for Mario over the years that we've been together. Mario and I have been together for many, many years. Yeah, she's knit a lot of things for Mario. She's also knit a lot of things for me, obviously. I'm her child. And she also knows because I'm a knitter, I really appreciate them and will obviously wear them. But I pointed out that she hadn't knit anything for me in a while and had knitted quite a lot for Mario, so we rectified this. And she knit me a jumper. She finished it whilst I was at home visiting this past weekend and sent it back up with me. Which is so sweet of her. And I did actually have this on, but I got very warm. And I thought, if I'm going to be sat here drinking a hot cup of tea, which is now cold, I'm not going to want a jumper on. So when I was down south before, we went to a shop in Bognor Regis, which is where I am from, and bought the yarn. it from a little independent place. It is by Stylecraft. It is alpaca tweed. Let's try and get the price off. It's a chunky weight yarn, which means it did knit quite quickly. So I don't feel as bad. But it's 77%, oh, there we go. 77% alpaca, no, 77% acrylic, 20% alpaca, 3% viscose. It's machine washable, it's tumble dryable, it's ironable. I will not be tumble drying or ironing this. The pattern that she used, I was meant to write the name down and I haven't written the name down, so if I find it, I will add it in the show notes. If I don't find it, then it is a pattern specifically for this yarn. It is a Stylecraft alpaca tweed pattern, but my mum modified slightly in that the sleeves are stocking stitch instead of garter stitch. But this is the jumper. Oop. It still needs blocking. I haven't blocked it. My mum doesn't block knits. It's knit in pieces and then sewn together, which is something I never do. I only ever knit things all in one because I just haven't done it yet. My mum was very proud of herself because she saw that there is the basic neckline you could do, or there is the more advanced neckline. So she thought, I'm going to try the more advanced. So my mum learnt short rows. And so it's shaped, it's just kind of like a slashed neckline. It's very soft. It's tweedy. It's got fuzz happening. I'm going to be covered in fuzz. I don't know if you can see it. You can see my wrinkly forehead. Fuzz. My mum knit me a jumper. So she knit most of the sleeves. She had pretty much everything done when I got there. She'd knit most of the sleeves, but she'd stopped the sleeves where the pattern, well, she'd knit the sleeves to the pattern, then remembered that I had mentioned that I've got long arms. So I got home and she was like, so I've knit most of this jumper. I've waited to sew the sleeves on because I'm going to measure the sleeves on you because I seem to remember you have gorilla arms. Thanks, Mum. Also, it's just a fact of life, I do have gorilla arms. So she knit, I think, an extra inch on the arms and now they fit perfectly. They come to just on my hand, which is never where I knit my jumpers for myself. For myself, I tend to stop super short, so all of the jumpers I've knit for myself, the sleeve is too short. Determined for this to not happen with my Find My Way. Determined, because I just always stop short because I get fed up with knitting sleeves. Hopefully the cable will keep it interesting. Yeah, it's just nice. It's garter stitch at the top, then it goes into stocking stitch, and then it's got garter stitch at the bottom and the bottom of the sleeves. The sleeves I think are meant to be all garter stitch, but we decided that we didn't really like the look of that, so we went with stocking stitch for the sleeves. Mum made the right call. It's in this gorgeous denim blue colour, which is in the shade 1740 Midnight. And this is gonna get so much wear. I think Mum knit me the large size because she knows I love a bit of positive ease in a jumper sometimes, even though I just said that I kind of like more fitted jumpers. But with jumpers like this, especially just because it's such a snuggly yarn, I look like I'm feeling myself. I promise I'm not. My hands are up here, my chest is a little bit further down. With this chunky snuggly yarn like this, I just thought having it oversized will be really nice because I'm covered in fluff now. That's it. That's my destiny. But yeah. I'm gonna wear this so much. I'm really excited. So yes, although it's not a strict acquisition, I acquired it, and it's a hand knit that I'm going to be wearing in future episodes as and when the weather cools down, because it's still only August, even though everyone is getting so excited for autumn. I am too, I won't lie. I've been wearing slippers the past couple of days. It's been such a good life choice. But it is only August still, can't forget that, even if it is September in 2 days. But I always consider that autumn starts after my birthday, and my birthday is the 17th, so I've had a very nice, warm, sunny birthday in my day, which I guess is doesn't actually mean anything. It just means that I've just had quite lucky weather. Because the weather always perks up when kids go back to school. It's a fact of life. We've joked about it for years with my mum, before she is a teacher. Was a teacher. She's since retired. So I forgot one extra. I did forget one acquisition that I had. I received my KNITCRATE the day after I podcast last time. If you've seen my KNITCRATE box opening, you would have already seen this, but I'm going to be showing you anyway. The colourways so KNITCRATE is a yarn subscription service. I don't want to go on about it too much. There are several different choices of boxes. I personally am sent the KNITCRATE membership box, and yes, KNITCRATE are kind and generous enough to send me these boxes for free to review and talk to you about, and I'm more than happy to do that. If you would like to get your hands on your very own KNITCRATE, they did have a special offer on. I don't know if it's still around, but I have a link in the description box below, which is an affiliate link. I'm going to be completely out there and honest with that. If you click that link and you buy yourself a cheeky box, or you know, yourself a subscription, before the 1st September you'll receive this box, I believe. And I have a coupon code for 20% off your first box, which is Corner of Craft 20. That all the information is in the description box. If you're unaware, an affiliate link basically means if you buy anything after clicking on that link, they will throw a bit of money my way. It means nothing extra for you. But if you'd like to support the channel, as YouTube is a source of income for me, then feel free to use that link in the description box and send it to your friends and pass it around. But they did have a special offer on where you could buy both the July and August, or you could buy the July KNITCRATE membership for only an extra $5 onto your order, which basically just covers shipping, so you're getting the box for free. And the one that I got in July was this worsted weight beauty, but there were 4 different colours that you could have got. But yes, you could have got 4 skeins of yarn for $30, which is incredible. But the yarn that I received in my last KNITCRATE, my June KNITCRATE, which is by Uru Yarn, and it is 100% superwash merino, single ply, in the colourway Shibori. It is this beautiful kind of like dirty teal, like grey teal. It's got some navy blue indigo-y speckles on, and it's so beautiful and so soft. And I actually think I'm going to knit one of the patterns that they sent with it, or crochet. I crochet myself the shawl that they sent with it. It's got some beautiful tassels and such on it. So quite excited for that. Just kind of forgot about that. So regarding shop news, I don't actually have a shop update this week. I haven't done a yarn update in a few weeks, and I don't know why. The last yarn update I had wasn't the most successful shop update I've had, and I think it just kind of threw me off a little bit. But that's okay. I need to just get back on the horse and get back to dyeing, work on my Knitical Rolls collection. I've got one colour so far that I've been working on, or that I have worked on. It's this one. It's called Don't Be a Sad Bear, Be a Happy Bear. For those of you who don't know, I have a online shop. I was going to say Etsy shop, it's not on Etsy anymore. thecornerofcraft.co.uk. I make stitch markers like the panda one I showed earlier, and I also dye yarn under the guise of Chromatic Yarns. Chromatic Yarns is yarns in colours inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. Woo! I tend to do fortnightly updates, or I do weekly updates usually, but once a fortnight will be a stitch marker update, and then once a fortnight will be a yarn update, just to keep my sanity in check. So there is some quite exciting news regarding the Corner of Craft. You may have seen on Instagram that I am doing my very first show. I am having a stall at my very first yarn festival. Never done it before. There won't be another one for another year because I've been disorganised and haven't signed up to any more. But I'm going to be doing Nottingham Yarn Expo. Woo! I thought, why not have my first show be down the road? It makes complete sense. So that show is on the 11th of November. It is a one-day marketplace. It is on Sunday, Remembrance Sunday, which will make it easy for you to remember it. It is held at, if you know Nottingham at all, it is held at the John Arkwright Nottingham Trent University building, which is that one near the Nottingham Trent tram stop. It is super easy to get to from the station if you get the train. It's easy to get to from a nearby free car park if you get the tram in. It's easy to get to on the bus, depending what bus route you have. But yeah, it's right by a tram stop, which is ideal for people. And tickets are now on sale. So if you fancy coming along and you don't want to have to wait in the queues, because let's be honest, who can be bothered with that? So you guarantee an entry, you don't have to wait in the queues, and you actually save £2, which is 20% off on the door price. So why not? If you're able to come to Nottingham Yarn Expo, let me know. Come and say hi at the Corner of Craft stall. I'll be there with both chromatic yarns and my stitch markers. So I need to get calculating on how much I need to make. I'm a little overwhelmed. But I've had ages to be prepared for this. But I think it's just made it very real. So I've sent some samples, or I've took some yarn to my mum so she could knit me some samples. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. It's my first show, which is pretty cool. I've never done a show before. So yeah, that's my news. No more news. That's it. That's my only news. Life stuff, I suppose. That was a weird face I just pulled. Apologies. Life stuff, I suppose. Let's move on into that. It was bank holiday here this past weekend. It also happened to be my grandma's 90th birthday, which is pretty incredible. So we had a big family party down in Portsmouth, and it was lovely to see all my family. I got to meet my first cousin once removed. We had to look up how he was related to me. Basically my cousin's child, which was lovely. And what else has happened? I went to Edinburgh. Have I talked to you since I went to? I've talked to you since I went to Edinburgh. I've just been working on shop stuff, really. I went out for a few drinks with one of my friends. Got really hungover the next day. Standard Hannah. It's my birthday soon, so I need to organise something to do that. Just been playing D&D a few times. You know, the usual shebang. I left my keys at my parents' house, so they're being posted back, and I'm expecting a knock on the door at some point because they're signed for, so I really need to get my keys back, because sharing one set of keys between two people is a right pain in the arse. But that's my own fault for forgetting my keys. I've never done it before, probably never going to do it again. But really annoying. Remembered when we were on the motorway, oh, I left my keys on the kitchen side. We weren't about to turn around. So, not that it would matter because my parents went in, so even if I had turned around, I couldn't have got in my house. Right. I think that's me done. I'm gonna go and edit this. How have you all been? I hope you've all been well. If you enjoyed the podcast, thank you so much for watching. It honestly does. I know I say it every time. It truly does mean the world to me, and it means a lot that you come back time after time to hang out with me for a while. I really appreciate it. And I don't want to get too mushy, but I do really appreciate it. I enjoy hanging out with you all. You know, there are so many podcasts out there now. The fact that you choose to spend your time with me, it's just real nice. Okay, I'm going to stop gushing. Don't forget that you can follow me on social media just here, and links can all be found in the description box below as well. If you don't forget that if you entered my knit along to go and check to see if you won in the description box. Thank you to everyone who participated in that. That was a lot of fun. I want to do another knit along again soon, so might have to do one maybe in a bit, because I think I'm going to be a little busy beading all the things. I'm ready for Nottingham Yarn Expo. If you're able to go to Nottingham Yarn Expo, if you've already bought your ticket, please let me know. I want to know. Oh my goodness, I want to know who I get to meet, who I get to hug. I am a huggy person, so I love a hug. And I think that's everything I have to say. I'll leave you alone now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.